Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mothers have practically built themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and well, today it's December 7th, and I'm in my winter camouflage, as you can see. That way I can hide in a snowbank real easy. All I got to do is, pull this back and no one's going to be able to see me. It's really good. But it's seriously, December 7th means a whole lot to me because, well, my father served in the Pacific in World War II. And so that he would tell me stories of some of the things that went on in the group that he fought with, and some of the things he did during the war years. It got me really interested in the Pacific War. And well, Pearl Harbor, there was a lot of books, well, not a lot, but there was books back when I was little. There was books about the Day of Infamy. So I would read and study about Pearl Harbor history. At one point in my life, I really got interested. I started to model Pearl Harbor stuff. And I think you've seen the show that I have up with all of the aircraft and the displays that I've done in the past in regards to Pearl Harbor. Now, what kind of got me started in the Pearl Harbor modeling, wow, say that 3 times fast, was that Arizona kit that probably everybody built at some point in time, either in the little teeny like 1/800 scale or the 1/426 scale, or 1/425, whatever you want to call it. Well, I had built that a few times and played with it as a kid. Once I was in my early 30s, I got thinking, I would really like to build this again, but everybody does the Arizona. Let's do something a little bit different. So I got looking into things, and I found that the Oklahoma and the Nevada were very similar. They were the ships series right before the Arizona and Pennsylvania, and they were very similar. There was a few differences, but probably enough that I could model it. So what I decided to do was build a USS Nevada in that 1/425 scale. Now this is long before they came out in resin. Long before, or I'd have just been easy on myself. So I spent a considerable amount of time, a couple of years actually, working on this particular model of the USS Nevada. So today I'm going to show you where my whole Pearl Harbor modeling started, was with that USS Nevada. And we'll talk to you a little bit about why I got going with that particular one, and well, we'll take a good close look at it. So stick with Mad Dog Merv today as we commemorate December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, by looking at my USS Nevada.
The USS Nevada BB-36 was the first in a 2-ship class. There was the Nevada and the Oklahoma. It was launched in 1914 and commissioned in 1916. It carried 10 14-inch main guns, some 5-inch 51 secondary guns, and some 5-inch 25 anti-aircraft guns, along with some 50 caliber machine guns. It was her configuration during the time of the attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. On that morning, as they were preparing to raise the morning flag, she was torpedoed by a Kate torpedo bomber on the port side towards the bow. Also, she was able to get underway during the attack, but was hit by some bombs from dive bombers. She did beach herself, sunk into the mud, was raised, and later repaired and went on to fight.
Well, here it is, my USS Nevada BB-36, as it sat the morning of December 7th, 1941. We are going to take the case off, which, by the way, notice that I made this case in the shape of the state of Nevada. So let's take a look at it a little bit more closely. So we'll start here at the bow. This bow wave is battle measure 5, and it was unique to the Nevada. The Oklahoma also had one, but it was a much different shape than this particular one. The overall color of the ship was battle measure 1, which was a kind of a navy gray with a light gray above the smokestacks. However, it did have the deck stained in a deck stained blue, and we've represented that here. You see that we've got the turrets painted, the turret housing or tops are painted red on the forward turret, and on the aft turret you've got the one white. And that is to denote the battle squadron that the ship belonged to. So this would say it was, I can't remember the squadron, I'll have to look it up, but let's say it was in Squadron 1, and this was ship number, 1, something to that effect. That's what the colors mean. So it was an aerial recognition. So here on the aft, I got some sailors who are getting together, and they're getting ready to raise the flag. Now, the flag staff has broken off. It's one of the things that I need to repair on here. But anyway, they were getting ready to raise the Sunday morning ensign as the attack began. Also, the ship of note on here is the anti-aircraft configuration. They were in what was called Condition Z, so when they were in port, you did have some of the anti-aircraft guns that were manned. So here is, up here in the crow's nest, one of the Marines and a couple of sailors manning the anti-aircraft, the 50 cal anti-aircraft guns. And one of the 525 crews is also manning their gun, and I think that is on the other side. We'll take a look here in just a second. Anyway, you can see the anti-aircraft 50 cals there that are unmanned. And again, most of this ship was scratch built. There is one big mistake, and that is back here. I did not have good 3D. I just had a 2D drawing, and I did not have a good deck layout. So this structure back here actually should be squared off, not rounded off. And that's one of the big mistakes that I made. But I did get this rear shape here correct for this. Here we have the awning that was placed there for the weekend. This is where on Saturday night they had a bunch of folding chairs, and they had a movie that they were showing. Here's the empty 5-inch, I think this was for this was for a Chicago piano 1.1 that had not been installed yet. So again, all of these weapons on here I scratch built. I did use a little bit of photo etch for the railing, and I could say not a great job there, but anyway, some of the railings, like this one, is I guess that is still the photo etch anyway, and you can see the photo etch figures that I used. That didn't turn out so good. I mean, for the day it did, but now there would be so much better way of doing that fighting top. There's actually a photo etch set for this particular kit. Back when I built this, there was no photo etch set, so modified the main gun directors there. And again, this one is missing. Most of it has just been damaged over the years. So someday I really need to redo that. But again, I'm going to rebuild this in 3/50th scale, so I'm just kind of not too motivated to really work on this. All of this area back here is scratch built, as you can see. This is a garbage lighter. This was actually pulled up alongside the Nevada. It had made its way down Battleship Row, and it was picking up garbage from the ships, and it was present that day during the attack. And kind of just more look at the front here. Yes, my jack staff in the front is bent. Kind of a front-on view of it. The mooring keys are accurate. The shape is accurate. They were different for each part of Battleship Row. There were some that were similar in shape to this, but again, these are accurate from drawings that I had, and blew it up to size and all that kind of fun stuff. So you can see the bumpers that I made, the wooden piling bumpers, and ship tied up to the ammunition barge that was present that morning. What they were doing is they were changing out the 16-inch shells, not the shells, but the propellant for the 16-inch shells. And that's what's represented by these cans here, were the cans that housed, I think it was 2 bags of propellant per can, if I remember correctly. But again, when you look at pictures of the Nevada from the battle, you will notice this barge right here. And again, this is accurately depicted. I was able to find some decent drawings of this, and that's how it turned out. So and there's some of the catapult, which again was built from drawings that I have. A pretty decent rendition of the pretty accurate rendition of the boat cranes and the position of this one. Again, the moment the attack started. Blast bags were made out of just white glue on this. These life rafts, an aerator. Yeah, the inside of an aerator was used. And I think this was a paper clip that I cut and made round. So that's how I made those. Those again, there's not photo etch. What's the stuff? Well, there is photo etch, but there's also resin. There's also resin castings now of all this, and that did not exist back when I built this. So lucky me. Anyway, there's kind of an overall view of our Nevada and the tribute to December 7th, 1941.